Advtech and Curro has been an interesting story. Advtech, of course, in the same business as Curro. Curro has been a darling of the exchange, and there's been an approach by Curro to Advtech in terms of a takeover. Will it go hostile? Has it been hostile at the Advtech AGM, which is going on at the moment? CNBC Africa's Tumisho Grater is on the telephone now. I get this picture, Tumisho, of two camps at the meeting, both of which are glaring at each other. One is in the Curro camp and is for the takeover. The other one are the Advtech people, and there's also some parents at the back throwing rotten tomatoes. Is that a fanciful picture? Tell us the scene.
Well, let me tell you, Lindsay, if there are two camps, I can tell you that at the AGM, the camp that is in opposition of the takeover is very, very big. So it was a very, very full room. I can tell you we did have parents, shareholders, people who own schools in the private sector and media. It was a completely full room, and everybody obviously wanting to find out what the rationale was for the board to say that they reject this offer. So firstly, just to lay out the scene, it was a little bit tense, and we did have Frank Thompson and the current acting chairman talking about the fact that why they decided to go ahead and not go through with this particular deal. But the questions that came out after the floor was open for the different stakeholders to basically voice their views. We did have Simon Allison, as you'll know, he's from Grater Asset Management, and his view was that he doesn't understand why this offer was not put forward to any of the shareholders. And he said that, he said to Frank Thompson, even if the share was offered, even if the offer was for 100 Rand a share, would you still not put this offer forward to the board? And the answer was that no. This is about ethos. This is about culture. There's a financial position that they also need to consider with a company that is valued at almost a 200 price to earnings ratio, and also the fact that it doesn't make sense. They feel as though they wouldn't be able to fully go ahead with their growth strategy, not just in South Africa but the rest of Africa as well. But looking at some of the interesting comments that came out, parents were clearly not in favor of this, and I think one of the key things that came out was that this was really about the ethos and the culture and the value. One of the parents went on as far as to go that the Curro was a bubble, just waiting to burst, and if they were ever going to be a part of it, it would be detrimental to their children's future. Interesting twist to everything, though. While all of this was going on, the PSG Capital MD of Curro stood up and he said that is not true. Curro does not stand for racial segregation, and parents stood up and said that is not the truth. What do you have to respond to that? So I can tell you it was a very, very interesting AGM, probably the best I've ever been to in terms of what came out of it, and just how highly fueled and emotive it was. I can tell you that the voting process for the normal proceedings took a lot longer than what we usually would see, because there were so many shareholders that came forth, and they said that should this deal go through, should Curro come again and try and make an offer, and should this happen, a lot of the parents said they would pull their schools out, the kids out of their schools.
Gosh, that's quite a statement. This is capitalism in its rawest form versus educational ideology, and I think those two are on very opposite sides of the spectrum. Maybe something can happen in the middle. If you have a look at the chairman's statement, which has been emailed to me in the last half hour, it says in recent weeks there's been much market speculation about Curro's conditional approach. The proposal to shareholders has been rejected, essentially, and they go through the whole thing. But I think what's playing out today is materially very, very important. Who's winning, do you think?
From what I can see, and from what you can hear, you really do get a sense the shareholders are in support of what the board had said. I think there was some speculation that today we would see some sort of shareholder revolt that they would request for this offer to be put forward to them. But, Advtech has said categorically that they did not receive a firm offer. Firstly, a firm offer needs to be put on the table. And the fact that parent after parent and shareholder after shareholder, with the exception of Simon Anderson from Grater Asset Management, have said that they are not in support of this because it will dilute what Advtech stands for. There was one of the shareholders who responded to Simon Anderson from Grater Asset Management saying that this deal needs to go through, and he said, looking at fund managers like Grater, who are supposed to be managing people's funds and the way they're conducting themselves, it makes him very worried about the moral integrity of asset managers. So that was also another thing that came out of the whole thing. So really, if I'm looking at this particular proposal, from what I drew today, it goes down to values, and Advtech surely says that Curro is not in line with what they're trying to do.
Tumi, thanks so much for your analysis.